Hey guys, Danny Johnson here. Today I'm looking at this Milwaukee kit 48-22-9004. So this is the 1/4 inch drive kit and it has a really good variety. It's going to go all the way from 5mm up to 15. Seems like a lot of kits end at 14 when I need a 15 and going down to 5 is really good. And 5/32 up to 9/16, and it's going to have that in deep and shallow sockets. So I'll go ahead and open this up and show you what it looks like. I mainly got this because I really like the organization like that. It has a tray, so you can take this right out of the box, and you know it's gonna match like what I've done here, where you can basically just have everything right as you roll the drawer out, everything's in order. Okay, so in the end, this is how I like it set up. I had to turn some of these sideways to get it to fit, but you have your 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drive, and then other kits that we have along the way. But that's how you want all your sockets to look. Opening up the drawers, just having everything lined up. You can see what's missing, and works out really well.
Now, something I really like about the ratchets are they are 90 tooth. That's a lot of teeth on there. Usually you're around 72 or so for a good one. So that means you can get into really tight spaces and still have movement with a 4-degree arc. It also is a lifetime guarantee.
Now, they do make these kits. They come in this nice case. They also make a lot of these that come in the pack out. But from what I found is it's a lot more expensive for the pack out case. And I'm just going to be taking this out and putting it in my toolbox. It would be nice to stack this case with all the pack out stuff, you know, on a rolling cart or something. But for my use, the best value for the dollar was basically going to do it this way. So we'll go ahead and get this out of here and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so here it is, 50-piece 1/4 inch drive socket set, and it has SAE and metric 48-22-9004. Locking tab here, and it comes in plastic, so we can open that up. But this is really nice. It comes with your ratchet here, and then your deep sockets and shallow, and same repeating, a few extensions, and a U-joint. So really nice kit here. Okay, so the kit's laid out really nice, and again, I really like that you can use this in your toolbox. So it has the removable tray. It's very narrow, very shallow, so you can fit that in there. So everything is laid out and has its place. Everything has a very nice etching, so you can see clearly all the numbers there. Those aren't going to wear out. They also have the squared off base, so you can put a wrench on if you're in a tight space or if you want some different leverage on it. So that's kind of a Milwaukee thing that I thought was pretty cool to see that. You have some knurled edges here so that when you're turning this by hand, it makes it a lot easier to turn that after you've broken it loose. So the 1/2 inch drive appears to give you a part number on it. Looks like these smaller 1/4 inch drive do not. So you just have to look up which one it is. So even on the top drawer, these fit just fine, which is my most shallow drawer. So that looks pretty good. But that's exactly what I want, is to be able to pull all these out and have everything lined up all at your disposal, know exactly what you're missing. So here's the DeWalt one. It is nice to have that little ejection button. The Milwaukee one, though, being that it is squared off, it is kind of easy to grab a squared off corner rather than a rounded socket. So even though it doesn't have the button like I wish it would have, you can still get them off. I love having these little U-joint adapters, swivels. So I'm glad the kit comes with that. Extensions are always handy too. So nice little kit here to have the metric and standard. And the range is pretty good, 5/32 to 9/16, all the way down 5 to 15. DeWalt kind of did a little the opposite on this kit. It starts at 4mm, but only goes to 14. So I actually bought another Milwaukee socket because this is how I could find a 15mm in 1/4" drive. So odds are to me, and everybody's different, but I'd forego a 4mm and use a 15 a lot more often. So I kind of like this kit a little bit better for that, but at least I have, you know, a lower spectrum and a larger spectrum with both the kits. Here's just a few good reasons to have multiple sizes of the same socket. Don't just buy a new set and throw your old ones away. So we look at this 15 as an example. It's going to be too thick to get in here onto this bolt because this impact socket is thicker around the edges than one of the thinner chrome ones. So see how that fits in there a lot better? Okay, so even though they're both, you know, that size, don't think that you want to throw one of them away. Here's another 15, but this is for a 1/2" drive, but if you look at it, it can act as a deep socket. Perfect example on this on the Mustangs is the passenger side. The body comes up just a little bit where you're going for those exhaust manifold bolts. And so a deep socket's too long, it starts to hit the body. And so this one will act as a deep socket because it's 1/2" drive and a little bit bigger, but can get in there. And then of course, really small stubby ones for a 1/4" drive, you're gonna want those too. So just because you get a new set, don't throw your other ones away. You never know what size or combination you're gonna need. So as a great example here, let's say that you were gonna remove this idler here. You can see that this doesn't quite fit down in there, even with the short one. This isn't a deep socket. Even the short one's gonna have a hard time getting onto that, and you're gonna be hitting other obstructions. So what you can do is use a wrench in combination with this. So by comparison now, you can see that we can fit this wrench on with a lot more room because we're not having the ratchet head in there. So that's how these are designed to work. They can help you get in on some pretty tight spaces this way. Okay, so in the end, this is how I like it set up. I had to turn some of these sideways to get it to fit, but you have your 1/4", 3/8", and 1/2" drive, and then other kits that we have along the way. But that's how you want all your sockets to look. Opening up the drawers, just having everything lined up. You can see what's missing, and works out really well. So in review, for 1/4", 48-22-9004. For 3/8", 48-22-9008. For 1/2", 48-22-9010. Those are the kits that I would suggest if you're trying to go from start to finish. After you compare everything, what the best deal is, what comes in each kit, this is the best value. If you want to pay a little bit more, go for the pack out version of that. But just know you're best off when you're buying metric and standard together with one ratchet for each of these sizes. That's how you're going to save the money. If you try to buy the kits individually, you're getting extra ratchets and extensions and some things, different cases, and maybe that's worth it to you. But this is what I found was the best value. And here's how it all looks. So have everything that just comes out and goes right into your toolbox. You can see when something's missing. You have all drive sizes and everything there. And then below that, the impact versions. So that's the way that I would do it. Check the video description. I'll put a summary of all that and part numbers and everything like that. But as always, thanks for watching.